Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Dan from DHTV, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use the Apple Watch Series 7 in this beginner's guide to the Apple Watch. Let's get started. Alright, so for this tutorial, we're going to be using the Apple Watch Series 7, and we have the iPhone 13 Pro, but you can use pretty much any iPhone or any Apple Watch, and a lot of what we're going to cover here is going to be the same. So to start, what we're going to do is open the Watch app on our iPhone because a lot of what we're going to do can actually be configured from the iPhone itself. Now, there is a lot that we're going to be covering today in this video, so if you do want to skip ahead to something specific, I've placed chapters with timestamps in the description. But for the rest of us, we're going to start with the basics and work our way up. So we have the Apple Watch Series 7, and you can see that it is turned on. We've set it up. If you haven't set up your Apple Watch yet, there's a link in the description to the full setup tutorial. It is very easy, and then it'll bring you to this section here. You can return to this video and continue. If you have already set up your Apple Watch, you should be on a screen like this. You might see a different colored watch face depending on how it was set up for you. But basically what we can do at this point is go over some of the buttons and navigation. So on the Apple Watch, you'll notice the digital crown on the right side. Now this can be pressed, and whenever you press it, while you're on your watch face, it'll take you to your app library where you can access all the different applications on your Apple Watch. You can also press it again to return back to your watch face where you'll see the clock and all the features within it. You have an option at the top here. If you see a little red dot, that means there's notifications. So if you swipe down, you'll be able to see what those notifications are, just like on the iPhone when you swipe down for Notification Center. And then to exit, we can just swipe up or even press on the digital crown once again. Now, if you do hold on the digital crown, you'll see that it brings up Siri. And if you have Siri enabled, then that'll pop up and you can ask Siri various commands like what's the weather today or set a time or all of that good stuff that you could do with Siri normally. Now, there's also another button on the right side. That's your side button. And if you give that a quick press, it's going to bring up the app switcher. And the app switcher will allow you to sort of scan through the open applications you have, tap on them, and open them up as well. You can also swipe left and then tap X to close the applications. And if you tap on them, it'll just open up that specific application. Anytime you want to exit an app, you just press on the digital crown, just like the home button used to work on the older iPhones. Now, one of the most popular things with the Apple Watch is the watch face itself. So customizing the watch face is something that you'll want to take advantage of. So you can do this in a few different ways. First off, whichever watch face you have on your Apple Watch at the moment, you can easily just tap and hold on it, and you can see that an edit option appears. If we tap on edit, we'll be able to change the different colors. So we use the dial here, it says dial color. Right now it's white. If we scroll upwards or downwards, you'll see it turns black. So there's a dark and light mode for this specific watch face, and different watch faces will have different editing options as well. We can also swipe to the left here and see the color, so the interior colors of all those little dials there. So if we kind of scroll with our digital crown, you can see we can get a multicolor right here. We can go down to like a purpley color or even like red here, and then you just tap on it to set it. You can add and modify the complications, and those are the little things that you're seeing in those circles. Like I said, all the different watch faces might have them on the side, up top, on the left, and you can kind of play with which one you want there. So if we tap on this one right here, it's the calendar, but we can actually scroll up and you can change it to the camera remote, the compass, and there's a whole bunch you can choose from. So if we wanted the compass, we tap on that, and now the compass is at the top. If we tap on another one here, you can see we have some weather options because that one was a weather complication. So we can kind of go down, conditions, more, air quality index. So if we want that, we can choose that. And then the bottom one here, again, different applications. So we can choose what applications there. If we want an alarm, astronomy, all these things are available to us. Blood oxygen calculator. So let's say we wanted our calculator readily available on our watch. And then we can just press on the digital crown to basically complete everything here, and all of our changes will take place. So we've done that. We just give it a simple tap, and now our watch face is configured exactly the way we want. Now, as you can see on my watch, none of those options that I added in there, especially the weather options, are showing up. That's because I don't have location services turned on my iPhone. So if you don't, you'll need to go into those specific apps and choose locations or allow location services to be turned on in your iPhone settings. So for this, I'll just open up the weather. I'm going to search here for, let's just do New York. Okay. You see it pops up. I'm going to tap add and it should appear right there as soon as we add it. So you'll have to do that if you notice that your complications are not showing up. So for example, compass here, all you have to do is tap on it to configure it and then it works. But you'll play around with those and various watch faces as well. Now tying in with your watch face here, once again, if we tap and hold on the watch face, you can see what this one is called. And if we swipe to the left, we can actually add a brand new one. And if we tap, you can see that we can get new watch faces here. So all we have to do is use the digital crown or just sort of swipe up and down and you can see all the different watch faces that you have to choose from. So if you like one, for example, let's say we like this one, we can tap add. It'll give you another watch face that you have on your My Faces section on your iPhone, but we can actually customize this one as well. So again, we can swipe left and change the color. So let's just go back to red, for example. We can go over to this side and change the complications. You can see you have those 4 corners of complications that you can choose from. So I'm just going to leave them as is right now. And that's pretty much the customization you have with this particular watch face. And then we'll just click on the crown and then tap on it, and now we have the new watch face. And switching between watch faces is as easy as just pressing, holding, and then kind of just guide your way to the other one and tap it just like that. So you can set up a whole bunch of these watch faces that you like and customize them for yourself. It's also even easier if you do this from the iPhone. So if you just go to the display and brightness settings and then tap on face gallery here, you can see even more of the watch faces that you can add to your Apple Watch here and the different customizations that you have with all the colors and get a better idea of how it's going to look. In previous years, I've used this one, so I'll just tap on that one right here and you can see a description. You can see all the different colors you can use with it. And you can go across here and choose what complications are going to appear all over the actual dial and the top left, the bottom left, all of that good stuff. And then when you're ready, you just tap add at the top here. It's going to add it down there to your watch faces. So if we go back, and now you can see it's right there, the one we just added. If we go on our Apple Watch, you can see the watch face appears right there. And they're getting really good at customizing these watch faces so that you can get a really cool look for whatever situation you might be in. If you need a simplistic look or a more complicated look or something that shows you more information maybe at work, but less when you're, with the kids, you can change it up like that. So tying in with this, let's just scroll down on our iPhone. Let's go through a couple of settings. First off, anytime you want to update your Apple Watch, it's pretty simple. You tap on General, you're going to tap Software Update, and depending on how you have your Apple Watch set up, whether it's going to download the updates automatically, they'll appear here already for you to install, or they'll ask you to download and then install them. You can see I have an update right here. I can tap on Install if I want, but we'll do that at another time just because it may take some time away from the video. So now that we've set that up, let's just quickly open up our apps here. And there are a couple of apps that you want to take note of that will be very beneficial to you. And that's like heart rate monitors right here. So if you tap on that, it's going to take a measurement of your heart rate. And you can scroll through it and see the averages, walking average, and all that good stuff as well. So there's a couple of things that you can play around with there. You also have this one right here. And if we tap on that, that's the ECG. So you're going to follow the on-screen instructions. You're going to hold your finger on the actual crown and have it on your wrist as well. And it's going to see if there's any kind of like misfire in the heart. So if you want to play around with that as well, you can. And just keep in mind, these are not to replace medical actual tests or anything like that. They're just little things you can do on your own here. And then another cool one is the blood oxygen level, which is basically going to give you a reading of your blood oxygen. And you can kind of read through the tips and go through that as well. It's pretty much just holding it on your wrist and following the on-screen instructions. So those are the 3 different applications for your health that are pretty useful. I tend to look through them at times and just kind of monitor what's going on so I have an idea. And if ever you have something that pops up, then you know, like, okay, there's something going on. Or if you notice your heart rate's always high or always low, kind of prompt you to take action on something like that where you may not have seen it before. Another feature, we'll use the iPhone for this, is the notifications. You want to configure how your notifications are going to pop up. Whenever they do pop up, you may hear a beep, you may hear a vibration. It'll pop up with the actual message if it's iMessage. So you kind of want to go through these here and go through what notification indicator is going to be. So a red dot will appear at the top. I showed you earlier when we had that red dot, we pulled down and it brings up all of our notifications. You can turn that off if you don't want that to be there. You can have a summary when locked. It's going to give you a short look at what's going on with that specific notification. Or you can turn on the full notification here, which is going to then hide the full details of the notification behind the summary until you tap on it. Then you'll get the full notification right there. You can have the notifications show when your wrist is down, and you can choose which applications those will apply to as well. You also have all the different notifications that you can configure within the apps here. So messages, for example, you can have it mirror your iPhone. So whatever pops on your iPhone, it's going to pop up on your Apple Watch the same way. Or you can set different sounds, haptics, the way it shows up in your notification center, all of that. So that's notifications. Next is to go through your sounds and haptics here. So if we tap on sounds and haptics, you can set the volume, you can set it to silent, you can change the haptic alerts, and haptic is just the vibration you feel on your Apple Watch whenever a notification or something comes through. You can choose the default or prominent, so it's a little stronger for you. Crown haptics, so the little crown here, when you work with it, is going to vibrate on your finger as well. System haptics and cover to mute. So this is a good feature to have on. If your Apple Watch does ring and you're in a position where it shouldn't be ringing, you just basically cover your hand over the screen. It's going to mute it instantly, and then you can make your change to mute the Apple Watch. And that brings us to some of the Apple Watch settings and quick settings. So just like we pulled down to bring up notification center, you can pull up to bring up sort of your control center of the Apple Watch. And this is where you're going to be able to control your Wi-Fi connection. This right here will actually ping your iPhone. It's a great feature. I lose my iPhone all the time, and sometimes it's on silent. If you ever do, just tap this ping. And it's going to ping your iPhone, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it. You can run around the house tapping, tapping, tapping until you find it, because that's what I do. And it definitely is a savior when you have your iPhone on silent. You'll also be able to see the battery percentage, and if you tap on it, you'll get a little dial at the top that'll show you also how low it is, and you can turn on power reserve. And when you do this, it's going to reserve the battery life by turning off all the features except the current time. So if you just need a watch and you want to preserve the battery as much as possible, you can do that. It's more of an extreme low power mode that you have on your iPhone, but it'll be there if you do just need a time or clock on your wrist. You also have a little bell, and if you tap on that, it's going to silence the Apple Watch so that they don't beep or have any kind of notification sounds popping through them. You have this right here, which is basically theater mode. So if you're in a movie theater, it turns on silent mode and keeps the screen dark until you tap the screen or press the digital crown. So like in a movie theater, you see some people get notifications and it keeps lighting up in front of you. This way, the screen just stays dark while you're in the theater. So it's a good feature there as well. You have your flashlight here, which is just going to give you a very bright screen that's going to be able to sort of light up a little bit where you are. You can see it just brightened up for me right there. You can just press on the crown to exit it. We have right here, do not disturb, and this is going to tie in with the focus mode on the iPhone. I did a full tutorial on focus mode if you want to learn how it works, and then you can have these configurations here as well. So when you're doing certain things, all the notifications are going to be set up exactly how you need them. For example, maybe you have one for work, and at work you can't get notifications from your kids or anybody like that, so you only have them set up to important notifications like emergencies or anything like that. You can set those up. Check out that tutorial though if you want to learn more. We have the airplane mode. Airplane mode just shuts down like the cellular service and all of that stuff, so you don't need to have it on. It also preserves a little bit of battery. This right here is actually going to flush the iPhone. And what this does here is you're just going to press on the digital crown. It's going to say turn the digital crown to eject water. And that's going to sort of flush out any water that was in the iPhone. You can see it makes a sound. I'm not sure how that works. Pretty interesting because the Apple Watch can be actually underwater and in the shower and things like that for a certain amount of times. I wouldn't submerge it if you don't have to, but it can withstand very little. So that's there as well. You can flush out the water. This right here is to AirPlay. So if you want to AirPlay sound or audio to another device, you can there as well. And that's it for the basic ones that I'm going to talk about. But if you tap edit here, you can remove them and organize them as well. So for example, if you don't use something and you want to delete it, you just tap on that little red circle, it'll delete it. If you want to move things around, you can just tap and hold and then just drag them where you want them. And that way you have everything set up the way you want. You also have a more section here. Really isn't too much more that you can choose from. And then you can just select whatever you want and play around with it that way as well. So that is sort of like your quick control center on your Apple Watch. Now moving back over to our iPhone here, there's a few features that you might want to configure as well. Siri is one of them here. So if you want it to respond to the command, hey, you know who, it'll pop up on your phone. If you want raise to speak, so basically when you bring your wrist up to your mouth, you'll be able to just speak right into it and Siri will respond. And then you have the press the digital crown, which I showed you. You're just going to give it a quick press and hold, and then Siri is going to pop up there as well. So you can choose how Siri is going to work. Voice feedback, the voice volume, that's too loud. And then you can have Siri suggestions here, which right now it's just set to maps, but as you have different applications, some of them will pop up with Siri suggestions as well. Moving back over to our settings here, we have the passcode. I personally never use the passcode on my Apple Watch, but if you want to set one up, you can tap on turn on passcode here. It's going to give you a passcode to set up here. Just use zeros for now. If you ever get this little notification, it means that your code is not very strong. I'd suggest changing it to a stronger one. We'll just say use code for now. We'll enter it again to confirm it. And now anytime we unlock our Apple Watch, it's going to ask us to enter in that passcode before we'll be able to access anything. So for example, our Apple Watch sort of locked itself. If we press on the crown and then we press on it again, you can see we're being prompted to enter that passcode. So we're gonna have to enter it in, then press the crown again, and then we can get into our apps. So for me, it's too much work. To turn it off, you're just going to enter in the passcode there where it said remove, and then you don't have the passcode anymore. And there's also some features here, wrist detection. So if you're using a passcode, wrist detection locks your watch whenever you're not wearing it. So that way, if you do take it off, it's automatically locked. You don't have to worry about anybody going through it. So it's totally your choice if you are going to use passcode to have that on as well. Moving down, we have emergency SOS, and this is a very big feature, mainly the fall detection. I'm not going to get into the emergency service dialing. You can read about that, but turning on fall detection is a really good feature to have. So basically what this means is that if you do fall and it's a hard fall, and then the Apple Watch notices you're not moving, it's going to initiate an emergency SOS. So basically before the call, the Apple Watch will alert you it's detected you've fallen. If you don't respond by tapping your wrist on your Apple Watch, it's going to sound an alarm, and then it's going to call the emergency services. So if you have that on, just in case something goes on, you can protect yourself or give yourself that little bit of security that if something does happen, you're protected and emergency services will be able to get there and help you out. So just read through this before you set this up and kind of go through it and configure it as you want. Scrolling down here, we have all of the apps that are on our iPhone, and we can see what they all are here. And when you tap on them, it's going to give you some settings on what they're going to do and what you can do with them. Now, I'm not going to go through each one, but you can then click through them and kind of configure them for yourself. I strongly recommend you do that. That way you know how your applications are going to react with the Apple Watch. It's definitely beneficial and helpful so that you know what's going on. Now, just as I showed you earlier with the watch faces, if you ever want to delete them, you just tap edit here. You can delete whichever one you want, removing it like that, and it'll be gone from your Apple Watch. The one that's next to it will then become active. You can also change how your apps are viewed here. So in the app view, traditionally the way we're seeing this is like this, but if you prefer to have it as a list, now you have it as a list like this. You can kind of scroll up and down. I personally like this, how it looks, just because to me it's a little less crowded. And this look here, I don't know, I feel like it's a messy room, but that's what I use just because everybody uses it. But if you do prefer a more clean, more organized look, this one right here might be better for you. I'm just going to leave it as is for now, as everybody's more familiar with this. And moving back to our Apple Watch, there's actually sleep detection on this watch. So if you tap on this little bed icon here, it's going to set up a sleep schedule. So if we tap on that, you can turn on a sleep schedule and you can set it to go to bed every day at 10 o'clock, wake up every day at a certain time. And what it's going to do is use the sleep app to schedule your wake up alarm, bedtime reminders. And then when you're wearing your watch to sleep during those hours, it's going to track how well you're sleeping. So if you're tossing, turning, all of that. And also when you wake up, it's going to gradually kind of wake you up with a gentle sort of haptic vibration on your wrist. So that way you're kind of slowly woken up rather than most alarm clocks that abruptly scream a loud sound and we're woken up, jolted, stumbling around out of our bed. So it's a nice feature to have, especially if you want to track your sleep. And you can set goals, wind down, which is what I just mentioned, how it's going to give you 45 minutes to sort of wind down before you go to sleep. Same thing about waking up. just set it up if you do have sleep issues or if you want to just track your sleep schedule. So that's all I'm going to cover in today's video. There is so much more to cover here. If you want me to go through various things, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to help you out. I'll be putting together more tips, tricks, and tutorials on the Apple Watch as well as the iPhone 13s and iPad. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell notification box to be notified when I post new videos. And if you enjoyed this video, click that like button. If you have any issues, feel free to ask in the comments. And as always, I will see you in the next one.